All right, well, here we go. Week 9. We do the reactions every week, man. And usually these come a little bit later, but the night games are not really our games. These are games that you can flip off right now. I mean, you're seeing that as it's going on, obviously with Texas A&M, Arizona State getting throttled too. But I think we start this show off though talking about the first game that really was the big game of the week. We talked about Ole Miss. We talked about Oklahoma. You know, both teams very much in the playoff mix. Sloppy weather if you watch the game. Like two head coaches who are the wizards, right? Like Lane Kiffin is an offensive wizard. Brent Venables is a defensive wizard. Unbelievable matchup, offense versus defense, and unbelievable bounce back from Ole Miss. Like great job bouncing back. And they started this game off like they did last week with Georgia. They started off hot, started off scoring, started off moving the football. And OU had allowed 23 points in the first half in 7 games. 7 games. And Ole Miss had 22 points in the first half. So it was really, really fun to watch. And the difference in the game, and we'll get into all the details, but the difference in the game is Ole Miss actually finished a little bit better than they did the week before. But, listen, I've been president of the John Mateer fan club, have been the whole offseason, have been this season as well. Trinidad Shambliss outrushes, outthrows him, just outballed John Mateer at his place. And he was really, really good. They came off the same way with the passing game. Quick game, hitting the exterior. Oklahoma playing some soft coverage. And you saw that versus Georgia, which was very similar. So it came out hot. The biggest difference between Ole Miss's offense today and last week was Kewan Lacey. Like, Kewan was really good, man. Like, and I say that his numbers don't look great, but I think he took the pressure off of Trinidad having to do everything. I mean, you saw Trinidad's jersey; it was a different color of maroon. Like it was dirty, it was filthy. The field was sloppy. He was slipping all over the place. But I think it was a more balanced offensive tack for Ole Miss. They definitely learned from the week before, and that's what you want to see. You want to see your team learn and move the ball in the perimeter. And, instead of having Trinidad just steady in the pocket, they moved him out. I love what they talked about on the broadcast, too. You saw Ole Miss huddle. That's not normal, right? Like, Ole Miss is usually really, really fast. And you saw them huddle up because Brent Venables, Lane Kiffin, what he talked about with the sign stealing, right? So he kind of got under the 15-second mark a lot of those times. And then once he got under the 15-second mark, it was like, all right, now we can come out real quick. We can shift. We can motion. We can make something happen. That way Venables can't talk in the headset about what's going on. Now, I think Oklahoma has some questions to answer. And their offense, consistently looked very inconsistent. They made some big plays. They had a big 75-yard play. They had a big 65-yard run. But as a whole, it wasn't real good. And, Brent, I thought Ole Miss's defense looked a lot more like what we saw a year ago. Like their defense actually got in the backfield. The defensive tackles made plays. Like, they actually they got pressure on the quarterback. Like that Ole Miss defense we didn't see last week. And they showed up today, and it was a big reason why I thought they were able to get the dub at Oklahoma, which is a tough place to play.
Play count was down.
Way down.
And that was, I think Georgia, what was 84 plays maybe that Georgia ran against them a week ago.
And they had 11 snaps in the first quarter on defense. Yeah. That's it, 11.
So your energy level, much different. And cool, obviously cooler, weather is a lot different. But the biggest thing for theirs is Arbuckle allergic to giving the ball to the running back 2 times in a row? Because do you know how many,
when he got it,
do you know how many times it happened in this game?
How many times?
1. Now, if you count, like Robinson had the really long run.
Yeah.
And then the next drive, this drive started off with him getting the ball.
Oh, you have to count. You have to count multiple drives together just to get to that point.
If you get to that, that's 2. But in an actual drive, he gave that dude was just getting whatever he wanted for the most part, and it's like, You have to take that pressure off Mateer, and it just didn't. And the inconsistencies.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Lacey did that for Ole Miss, and Oklahoma did. Actually, Xavier Robinson outgained Lacey, but they just didn't give him the football. I think he had 9 for over 100, had the big 65-yard run. But Mateer. Here's what I'm going to say about Mateer, and I'm sure we'll get some stats on this to back it up, maybe on our Monday show. But I love John Mateer, president of the fan club. And I talked about his thumb, and I talked about the ball coming off. His decision-making was a bigger problem than his accuracy. And that, to me, down the stretch, man, You've got first downs that you can go get when you need it. And you're taking too many aggressive shots down the field. And so I think the
fourth down.
Yeah, I mean, he was open.
The out route, you run the whip route just to get to get the play for the first down. And
it was wide open. It was wide open. But I will say this. I think lack of receivers that win for Oklahoma is very prevalent. You got one. You got one guy that can win, create space. And they kept going to number 5 for a reason, right? He was the guy, and he is the guy. But, Xavier Robinson tried to help, but Arbuckle needs to call more runs. He needed to have more of that in the offense. I think it would have helped. But how about Ole Miss 9-0 in the fourth quarter? That's that, man. If you're a Lane Kiffin fan at Ole Miss and you're an Ole Miss fan, you have to love everything about this performance and the way they finished, except one thing, Brent, because I got one giant beef. What in Sam heck are we doing with the Simmons? With 4th and short, with the goal line? Broski, you almost let them back in the game. I know exactly what Lane was doing. I know exactly what he's doing. You got a quarterback on the bench that isn't happy. He hasn't played. He's getting paid a shoot ton of money. He thought he was going to be the guy. So what do? You try to get him some reps. What did you almost do? You almost lost the game because of it. You literally almost lost the game because of it. Your guy, Trinidad, he is better in the red and at 2-point and at short yardage than Simmons ever thought about being. That's not when you would use him. If you want to use him, Brent, in other situations, I'm here for it. Trinidad's ability to make people miss and rush the football, again, he breaks 50 yards rushing again. The dude is a star. He continues to make plays. Ole Miss continues to use his right arm to be where they're at, and it ain't going to stop, because if you look at the schedule, Ole Miss, I'm not ready to say they're a playoff team, but I'm ready to say they're a playoff team.
So you have the Sharpie out. You have the Sharpie out. You're writing O-L. You're starting to write it. You haven't fully written it yet, because you think about last season, Kentucky lost, Florida lost. They should be in the playoffs. You should be able to put them in Sharpie in the playoffs right now, but it's one where you've seen it in the recent past.
Yeah.
Failing in those games where they're, sort of defined favorites. But that was the number one thing I wrote down from this game, the whole Simmons stuff. And there's one thought process where it's okay, in the very low red zone, Trinidad with the batted passes and size and windows are smaller. Maybe you're thinking this guy's just better there. But I'd rather, to me, the running ability and his just decision-making outweighs any sort of physical limitations that the kid might have. But you said about in the fourth quarter, he was 5 of 6 for 94 yards in the fourth quarter, man. After what was 1 for 10 or it was bad against Georgia.
Do you see Ole Miss's upcoming schedule?
That's why.
South Carolina, host South Carolina, host Citadel, host Florida, at Hail State to end the season. So, hotty toddy, the good thing about it is you might not have to play in the SEC championship game. You might get to sit back and watch. But this year, instead of having to worry about your fate, you might be good to go. But how about that Mississippi State game at the end of the year might be a little bit more drama too than in the past.
Very much so.
But man, that's
big
all
time
the distractions with Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. It's not his fault, but it's distractions, right? People talking about him getting a job. Man, Hotty Toddy took care of business. You should be jacked up for your squad. You should be jacked up that the defense got a safety, made some plays, got some stops, and the offense keeps doing what it does, showed a little bit more balanced, and finished the football game like you wish they would a week ago, and then we could even be having a better conversation. All right, Vandy and Missouri. Vandy 17, Missouri 10. Diego Pavia coming into the game had a very specific quote that I absolutely loved. He said, my teammates deserve more credit. They should be getting more of the credit. My offensive line, my running backs, my receivers, and his defense. Because the defense absolutely bailed them out tonight. This is what good teams do, man. This is fantastic. Good teams find a way to win when they don't play well on one side of the football. Like, great teams find a way to win when they play sloppy. Guess what Vandy did? It's exactly what they did, man. They played sloppy, but their defense balled out. They held Missouri to 10 points, and Pavia didn't play his best ball. Missouri was a big reason because of that. Missouri's defensive line, we've talked about them, dude. They're fast, they're athletic, they run around all over the place, they make plays, and so, it was hard on him, but the defense of Vanderbilt came up big time. Pavia gets the tip pick coming out of halftime where it's still 3-3 at that point, like super low scoring. Defense gets a fourth down stop. Bo Pribula gets hurt on that play, unfortunately for Missouri. They get the ball back again, drive the ball inside the 15, another stop. Like, Vanderbilt's defense was timely stops and, some explosive plays. Like, it was a different way to win for them. Like, sloppy game, penalties, mistakes, but you get the 80-yard run by Young. And late in the game, when you really, really need it, when Missouri looked like they were kind of making some hay, moving the football, eating some clock, C.J. Hurd comes in, takes the ball straight from him, from the mesh, with, a 10-10 game, huge fumble, huge takeaway. So Vanderbilt, man, they just continue to be a story, and they're not going anywhere. And Missouri, I feel bad for them because it's kind of frustrating to watch them too, because they have so many opportunities and so many chances, and the defense, like we said, did an unbelievable job. Pribula gets hurt, so now remember, Sam Horn gets hurt week 1, on that Thursday night game versus Central Arkansas. So now they're on their third quarterback, who's a true freshman, who gets thrown in the spotlight on the road against a top 10 team in the country. Like, that's not ideal. Now, they still had some opportunities, and he had some good fourth down moments where he came up big. But Missouri continuing to miss field goals, which continues to be a theme. That's not a good thing. And then they came up a few inches short because it was super close with the Hail Mary. But Brent, I thought Missouri fought hard. I thought they were hurting because their offense continues to be not very explosive. And then you go to your third string quarterback. But what'd you think about Vandy, the gutsy win, and the Missouri contest?
Well, do you have the dichotomy of Pavia right now this season?
I don't know what that means. That's a big word.
He's either beyond elite or below average. And if you even just from a PFF grading standpoint, he's got 5 games where he's over 85, like elite level grades, big time level grades. He's got 3 where he's under 60. And today was one of those days. And he really, he had to make one play in this game. And he made it to Stowers on a third down slant route, that he got that right before
he had the bomb up the sideline too. That was a really nice throw and an even better catch. So he made a couple,
great catch,
but not many.
A little bit there.
That was crazy.
But still, Missouri, if you're a Missouri fan, you're like, what? We should have won that game.
Could have.
We outgained them by over 100 yards. We got stuffed on the goal line. We missed a field goal, with the kicker, who we know is an issue because their other one got hurt. But I will say, if I am a Missouri fan, I feel really good about the quarterback. That kid, there was no phase in him. He was fine in the pocket. He made a mistake here and there, but for the most part made plays, and they trusted him in the drop back game. They kind of had to at certain points, but you've got 2 weeks now to prepare for Texas A&M, which is a whole different animal, but at least you have 2 weeks. But hey, that non-zero chance for the Vanderbilt Commodores in the playoffs is beyond alive, because schedule-wise, Texas and Tennessee left on their schedule, and then Auburn, Kentucky at home. They split one of the T's, get one of the T victories, and they take care of business at home. They're 10-2, and they're probably in the playoffs. I mean, they're likely in the playoffs at 10-2.
Auburn fans, don't worry, we're going to get to you, baby. We're gonna get to you. You had a reason to celebrate, Auburn. We are excited. We are excited for you. I think the non-zero chance stays alive. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch a team like Vanderbilt have success because they've been bad for a long time, and it's fun to watch them. More fans come out again this week, which is good.
Well, think about that. So, like Vanderbilt, historically bad program. Now in the top 10. Ole Miss, we just talked about, in the top 10. It's not like they have a litany of past successes. A&M, who's had one double-digit win season in the 2000s, is now almost 8-0 and top 5 in the country. Georgia Tech, who we'll get to at certain points. It's amazing that the teams that the past would say no shot are now big time in the picture in this season.
And we've talked about ad nauseum why that is, and why it's going to continue to be that, because they're this whole new world, the whole new world of spending money and transfer portal and everything that's gone with it is made it wacky. And A&M made a statement tonight. A&M absolutely took LSU and bent them over their knee and just kind of gave them some lumps. And this is not, I don't know where LSU goes from here, but I can't imagine it's going to be to a good spot, because all the talk about Brian Kelly as it was, it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better at all. But A&M's, and we talked about this a little bit before this game. Marcel Reed hadn't carried the football very much, hadn't been a part of the run game. Bro, he was the biggest part of their run game tonight. And they continue to create explosive play after explosive play. LSU's defense has been really, really consistent. We talked about that last week against Vandy. They struggled a little bit, but besides that, it's been great. A&M did exactly what they wanted to, when they wanted to, how they wanted to. Started the game off with 2 big drives. It was a big 41-yard scramble by Reed. And they jump out to a 14-7 lead. And then the next 3 possessions, this is what I would be worried about if I'm A&M. It's just the mistake proneness, the Reed throwing the ball at an inopportune time. You drive the length of the field. Well, first of all, you get the safety, which wasn't good. Then you drive the length of the field and you throw an interception in the end zone. You can't give points away, right? You have to be better with the football. Then the lane made a great play, tipping the ball, another interception. So you had 3 possessions where it was safety, INT. And I think the precision passing game is something that you want to see more of. But guess what you have? You have Marcel Reed, who can play backyard football with the best of them. And that's what you saw tonight, man. Against an LSU defense that likes to bring pressure, that likes to blitz. He's like, make 2 or 3 people miss. The most he's carried the football. But they talked about on the broadcast, too. He's only 181 pounds. He's not a big guy. You can't live with Marcel Reed toting the rock. And Owens got a little bit dinged up tonight, too. So I wonder about that with Moss already being dinged up. I want to see A&M run the football more. But, my gosh, special teams. KC Concepcion, again with a punt return. To start the second half barrage, which they go 28-0 run, A&M. 28-0. Good kickoff return. Offense goes down the field. KC Concepcion gets a punt return. Another punt return where he almost breaks it. Dude, the game breakers and the pressure that A&M puts on you with their speed on both sides of the ball, it's not fun to deal with. It's not fun to deal with at all. They just have so many guys like Reed that when he touches it and when he has the ball in his hands, which he does every single play, it's a problem. And then you throw it to KC Concepcion, who's a problem. And you give it to Craver, who's a problem. The speed that they have, man, it rivals anybody in the country. Indiana can do some sick things. Ohio State can do some sick things. They can't do what A&M can do. Nobody in the country can do what A&M can do with the speed across the board. It's just going to be pick your poison. How do you want to get beat? And A&M, LSU, I guess, here's what happened. It's A&M walked in and they're like, LSU, pick your choice. Do you want the paddle? Do you want the spoon? Or do you want the mallet? And A&M said, all right. Or LSU said, I'll take the mallet, apparently. And they want that ace. And so it was a beatdown. It was an impressive performance for A&M, even though the second quarter wasn't. Like the second quarter was very unimpressive. That's how good they are. That's how explosive they are. They can just jump on you just like that. And man, what a great season so far for A&M. A&M fans have to be jacked up. And next for them is a bye, then at Missouri, and then LSU. And then next for LSU is a bye, and then they go to Bama. So my question, Brent, after all that, is Brian Kelly still there by the time they get to Bama? I mean,
I wouldn't put anything past, because I think more than anything, I would bet that fan base and even administration is just frustrated of watching him.
Well, they left.
Individually.
They were leaving though halfway through the game, so they weren't that frustrated about the game. But
like, you know, when you're the coach and you're on camera and you're basically cussing out your OC, and it's everybody can read the lips, and it says, "What are you doing? You can't throw that with no bleeping timeouts." Like, that's not a good look. Like, there's so many not good looks from him now, going on right now. And then the fact that your team kind of crumbles, and when one injury on your offensive line turns it into the turnstile, which Cassius Hell still, his moves as a pass rusher you have to I would assume you marvel at his moves, because it's a bag of moves that he has.
Well, he's just so freaking explosive off the ball. And then you couple that with the way Elko designs everything, man, and it just consistently is just a pain in your butt. So, and then LSU was at home. You're supposed to ride the crowd, right? But the crowd's at home. They left. They went home. By the end of that game, you could see
understand
there was no one there, and it's hard to say anything bad about those fans, because there was nothing to cheer for. Like, they were booing, they were pissed. They should have been pissed. That was an ugly performance. Listen, there's not very many people that spent more money this offseason than LSU. They invested. They went out and got certain players to get some defense. We got to start looking now and go, too, that Clemson win means nothing anymore. And then they don't have any other wins that are significant. So
they're at a, are they going to fight or are they going to crater? And that was like,
well, they cratered
got a week and a half.
So.
I mean, well, just the rest of the season. Like, are you going to sort of fall out the absolute rest of the season? It goes to show, like, when you think about the transfer portal and all the who had the best transfer portal and the transfer portal rankings in early in the season or in the off season. Early in the season, all those teams were doing quite well, and little by little, each is falling off, little by little, and not doing so well. But hey, at least LSU was 1-0. That was their thing.
Hey,
let's be 1-0.
We thought that was the best start of the season too. Like, we were like, man, what a start! They're the real Tigers. Now we don't have any Tigers, but
no,
it's frustrating.
They're just little kitty cats right now.
You know what though? If you want to get excited though, and you want me to get you a little bit more excited, then we'll do that. Let's talk about this Omaha Steaks. That's what we're going to talk about, because when you're talking about all these different teams that could get you excited, how about some steaks that will get you excited? Like elite steaks, all kinds of cuts for the grill, grass-fed beef fillets and burgers, high quality, sent to your door with the speed of an elite rusher. Yeah, you like that? This month, visit omahasteaks.com and get $35 off. Use the promo code, guys, Pollack. Use Pollack and you'll get $35 off. Make game day delicious with the official sponsor of tailgating. Visit omahasteaks.com and get $35 off, but you got to use the promo code Pollack. Check it out, guys. Terms apply. See the site for details. So we got some steaks through. You got some filet. Alabama's been a filet, right? They've been really, really good. I guess it depends on what cut of the steak you actually like, prime rib, whatever that is. But Alabama, I love this win for Alabama. Now, listen, Alabama fans, I hear you. I know you're going to be frustrated because you're going to go, we have a tendency under Kalen DeBoer to do this. We go to a team where we're supposed to win, which obviously you were a big favorite, supposed to win. We're supposed to take care of business, and we slop around, and it's a slow start. Like, I get that. And I say slop around. First quarter, they had 6 plays for 11 yards. 0 for 2 on third down. Wasn't their best. But here's the thing, man. Just you've got to be so impressed with Kalen DeBoer and the team's resiliency, because that's the first time this season that Ty Simpson looked really human, aside from FSU week 1 where the whole team was terrible. Like, he really, really struggled. He missed some plays that I don't see him miss very often. Missing Bernard over the middle on that third down that he probably walks in for a touchdown. Deep balls that were consistently, underthrown. But when you needed it the most, you came up clutch. And you know what? Like, we need to start having this conversation. Is Ryan Grubb the best offseason hire of any coordinator in the country? Like, I think that's a fair conversation that we can start having, because his creativity, the way he uses Ty Simpson, like, they're not running the football worth a flip. And that might frustrate some Alabama fans. Like, you still found ways on fourth downs to come up big. 2-point conversion, creativity, trick play to end the game with Bernard. Like, you're down late in the football game by 8. You score 2 touchdowns with 8.5 minutes left. You come up clutch. You make plays. Your defense started the game for you, scoring a touchdown. That's 3 defensive touchdowns in 2 games. Like, the defense is playing better. They're getting to the quarterback better. They're playing more aggressive. Their pass rush is better, man. Like, I know it was not the game you wanted, but let me tell you something. That had everything to do, to me, with South Carolina. And this is the problem. This is the problem when you want to play teams in this league consistently. The stadium is full. They're packed out. South Carolina's a 3-4 team, but you still got 90,000 people in those stands that are jacked up, that are excited, that are still making an impact on the football game. It's not an empty stadium, man. And I thought South Carolina played as good as you can possibly play. And here's another thing too, and I can't wait to watch this tape. Like, Brent, I can't wait to watch how South Carolina defended Ty Simpson, because here's what I saw. What I saw was, I think we're going to make Ty Simpson beat us deep. And that's a different animal that we haven't really seen. Now, I think the worst ball he throws is the deep ball. He underthrows it a lot. Now, he kills the middle of the field. But South Carolina, they did as good a job as I've seen of anybody in the country playing the ball in the air for the whole game. Like, they consistently didn't get 15-yard penalties. They got their head around. Like, it was a clinic tape. Everybody in the country, most of the teams in the country suck at playing the ball as a defensive back. South Carolina was elite today. Lenora Sellers was really, really good. Lenora Sellers looked like a guy that was like, all right, this is a big-time game. I know it's on your boy. Like, I've got to go do this. I've got to put this on my shoulders. And listen, here's the thing about South Carolina, the difference in this year. The offense isn't as good, obviously. We've seen that pretty consistently. But Lenora Sellers can't put the cape on all the time, but he can sometimes. And he chose to run the football tonight and run it with ferocity. And I want tomorrow when we do some numbers, or Monday when we do some numbers, I want to know how many broken tackles he had, because it felt like 4,336. Like, it was every single play he was making things happen. If I'm a South Carolina fan, I watch that game and I go, my team hasn't quit. They fought. They had every chance to play. My defense fought their gut out. My offense made some plays. But Alabama, in the moment, when they needed it the most, forced the fumble from Lenora Sellers and then dial up some flipping ball plays and take care of business.
I'll say, you said all those great things about Sellers, and then he had the fumble at the end. It's just one of those unfortunate things, that one little piece to it. But I am interested to go back and watch the tape about the defensive parts that you're talking about, because, I mean, there were certain elements that I was catching of that game where I'm just seeing Ty Simpson get hit and get hit really hard. And then you see the Williams drop on fourth down.
Which wasn't an easy catch.
No.
But that's a play that a superstar needs to make.
But still, for this game is all about Bama surviving a situation that, like you said, under DeBoer, like that everybody would have brought up that stat. Hey, you can beat all the ranked teams in the world, but against the unranked teams, you're like Ron Zook, like what or whatever. So like, it's one where,
wow, you went Ron Zook on him. Oof.
That may have been a bad example. I don't know.
Well, I mean that you made your point. I mean, that hit hard and stuck in the head for sure. How
One
about the
thing that
mistakes by South Carolina though? Like they're the ones that made the mistake. Like what a horrible pick six. Like congratulations Alabama caught it, but South Carolina drove the ball right down the field, kick a field goal, and then all of a sudden they make Alabama punt, which hadn't happened very often. And then Lenore Sellers throws a perfect ball to Faison. It hits him in the hands, and he literally throws it to the guy, and he has a pick six. Like they miss a field goal, they have a touchdown call back. Like so many mistakes.
Shoulda,
like,
coulda, wouldas.
They so could have won this game, and that's why if I'm a South Carolina fan, I'm not the most down on my team because we fought like crazy and we gave ourselves a chance to win, but he kind of blew your foot off like Duke a little bit.
The creativity from Grubb though at the end was quite impressive.
So stupid.
Like the touchdown and the 2-point play. Like when you had to have that.
I thought South Carolina did the right thing letting Bernard score too. I absolutely thought that was the right start. I think that was the right thing late in the game when he let him score. But how about I can't let this slide. How about Jadeveon Clowney's cousin getting to the quarterback? And then Lenoris's, the big brother to little brother connection, the Sellers to Sellers connection on 4th and 12 for the 22-yard gain. Like, those were kind of cool game within the game. And then they, took the lead. And, I mean, South Carolina played so good, man. They gave themselves some good chances. But, golly, in the end, man,
it was the story of the day, really, and I'm sure one of these other games we're going to get to with Texas, but this was survival Saturday, because when you look throughout the top 25, like all these they were great games all day, phenomenal football to watch all day, but for the most part, the higher ranked team or the favorite won and sort of pulled it out at the end.
My boy Terry in the chat likes Chuck Steak. And then Jay Grizz said Chuck Steak. Nice, Terry. So I like that. That might be your thing. Hey, you know what, though? You know who didn't survive and you know who didn't have to pull it out is Indiana. Because Indiana, despite what everybody wants to keep saying about them, and if you want to say like that, it's a cute little team, but they're not. There's no way they should be the number one team in the country. You've lost your freaking mind. That's the only way I can say it, bro. Like, there's no other way to say it. Like, again, clubbing people upside the head, playing whack-a-mole. And you've seen them go on the road and beat Oregon, and you've seen them beat the mess out of Illinois by 50 plus, and now a 50-point win against the UCLA team that was super hot, and started the game off right with a pick six, and it's just fun to see a team that's so disciplined, so tough, so well coached. They make you earn everything. A complete team every week in and week out for Indiana. It's offense, it's defense, it's special teams. Like all of them continue to make plays. Offense scored on 7 straight drives. Like defense scored with a pick six. Special teams is there every single week in and week out. So good. Surratt, if you go look at his numbers, like, it's one of the craziest things because I looked at the box score after watching the game. Surratt's one of the best receivers in the country, hands down. He had 2 catches for 6 yards. And so you probably go, man, he was obsolete. He had 1 touchdown in one of those catches. No, not so fast, my friend. Lee Corso style. Like, he drew at least 3 or 4 defensive penalties. And that back shoulder, it might be one of the hardest things to stop in all of college football. We need some Indiana people to start doing some T-shirts. Like, you can't stop our back shoulder. Like, whatever it is, like, we have a back shoulder, you don't. Like something like that, because that connection is so unbelievable and so good. And I continue to watch Indiana, and I continue to watch both sides of the lines of scrimmage, and I continue to watch them have a bunch of butt-kicking Jessies, dude. Like, Mendoza has time to throw the football. They like to get it out quick, but then sometimes he'll start holding on to it. Offensive line, more than doing their job, more than taking care of business. Other side, you've seen Nico in this stretch for UCLA get really hot, extend plays, make throws, like be a problem with his wheels. Nah, bro, not at all. Like, they ran him down. They pressured the piss out of him. They forced turnovers. They scored. Right? Like, so when everybody's surviving, like Brent talked about, Indiana just, takes out the mallet and smacks people upside the head. So next up for Indiana, if you think Indiana's going to lose, I don't know where in the regular season. But next up is at Maryland, and then UCLA has a bye, and they have Nebraska, who squeaked by Northwestern, which was a crazy game today. If you watched that game, it was extremely, extremely interesting. So Indiana keeps doing what they do. Miami, it was a different game. Like this was not hurricane domination. This was not total destruction, Category 5, whatever the hurricanes are that are really, really bad. It's 42-7 final score. It was 7-7 at the half, and obviously, Miami dominated the second half, but the defense looked, really good in spurts, especially turning the football over. Every time I looked up, man, it was another turnover. But I don't think we need to stay on this for forever with Miami. But number 10, every single game. Malachi Toney, every single game. And I know the wide receivers that are talked about obviously are similar guys, but Malachi Toney is one of the best in the country, and I know he's a freshman, but he's one of the best in the country. Consistently, doing in punt return. He blocks his tail off. Like, he catches it. He runs it. He throws it. Like, Malachi Toney continues to just be unbelievable. The offense got their run game going, which you want to see. Beck didn't hit 200 yards passing, but Fletcher went off on the ground and toted the pill, and Miami gets back on track. And next for Miami's at SMU, who, if you didn't see SMU today, we're not going to discuss it, but they eked one out against Wake Forest. Like, very, very closely eked it out. Next for Miami, obviously SMU, and then next for Stanford's Pitt at home. Nothing like a conference game going 2,600 miles across the country. That's beautiful. Oh, geez. Such a weird thing with demographics, and especially weather, too. Like when you get UCLA and you get, and then you go to Ohio State. But SMU losing is unbelievable. Like the way they lost on the field goal, if you didn't see it, it was crazy. They hit a bomb of a field goal. And then the replay looked like Wake Forest kind of missed it. It looked like it hit the crossbar and didn't go through. But it actually did go through. So I think I misspoke there. I apologize. But SMU lost, did not take care of business. All right, you've heard me talk about this before, but like the melon lids, these things are really sick. I got one right here actually. But you can go to melon.com, melin.com. Use the promo code Pollack, and you can get one of the melon cups, and you get 30% off your order, man. So that's a win. But the tip of the cap melon today is to Georgia Tech. Like Brent Key, tip of the cap. Yellow Jackets, 41-16 over Syracuse on the flats, taking care of business, looking like a real squad that can do everything. Defense, offense, third downs. We'll get into some of the stats, but if you go to Mellon, if you want to get one of these hats, and here's the coolest thing about the hats, I think, is it's a good-looking lid, it's high-tech, but it doesn't sweat. My sweat and my fatness, which is consistently outside, like you sweat on it, it doesn't stain it. It's unbelievable. It doesn't get wrecked by sweat. And so go again, that's melon.com, melin.com, promo code Pollack. And so here's what Haynes King did today. So here's what I want to say. Actually, like Haynes King is playing great football, and we've bragged on him a lot, and we've bragged on Georgia Tech. But it's time to throw him now in that Heisman conversation. Bro deserves it. And I don't think it's going anywhere either. I mean, if he continues what he's doing through the air, you got problems stopping this offense. He had 395 yards of offense. Passing game got hot. It stays hot. Stays cooking the past couple weeks. 25 of 31, 304, 3 touchdowns. He kicked in almost 100 on the ground with 2 more touchdowns. Rutherford was banged up. And then a freshman comes in, Jordan Allen, and he was great. He had, like 50 yards in the first half. Bailey Stockton's catching the football, but tip of the cap, man. Georgia Tech just continuing to be workmanlike. And I think, the defense is the question mark that we've always had questions with Georgia Tech, and how will they be? They were really good on the things that mattered. Really, really good on third down. They continue to shoot. They've scored. We've seen them consistently, score too in the past, but create turnovers because their offense doesn't create turnovers. And then when they continue to create turnovers, guess what happens, man? Now you let that offense come and pound you. And that offense will just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming because They possess the football. They run the football. That's what they want to be. That's who they are. So if they can continue to play good defense like they have been and just keep handling business, again, the schedule is great. But Georgia Tech doing what they do. And speaking of doing what they do, Brent and I talked about this. Something's brewing. I thought we put the hex on them. I thought we put the jinx on them. Brent, like every time we do something's brewing and we talk about a team, it's like, man, I feel like they're going to go down. I feel like they're going to lose. BYU looked like that this week, man. Like they get down early, but gosh dang. I mean, like I didn't think I could love my man Bear anymore. Bear Bachmeier, the freshman. Like I love this kid. We talked about the offense. We broke it down 7 ways to Sunday. And one of the things me and you both agreed on, don't get behind. Like this is not an offense that's probably going to be successful from behind, throwing the football.
We're wrong.
Yes. Like, okay, because LJ Martin, who's a baller, he's so good. He gets knocked out in the first half. Run game goes obsolete. Career highs through the roof. 35 passing attempts for Bear. 47. The 47 quarterback. Career high. Like 2 touchdowns. He had 2 receivers go over 100. 26 of his 35 attempts, Brent, was when they were down 14. Like after they got down 14, they couldn't run the football, and they were like, dude, Bear, bail me out, Bear. And that sucker, as a true freshman, and he's got some large shoulders, 235, 240 pounds, bro, carried them on his back and said, I got this.
He's beyond impressive to watch.
He's an animal.
And it's because of the just demeanor and nothing phases him. You can tell.
You can't even tell if he does good. Like
he's hyper intelligent. You can tell that because and a lot of it is with their scheme too. It's simplifying the reads, and he sees the blitz. So okay, I got a blitz here. Now I can throw right behind it or throw deep down the field like the 1 touchdown late. But I mean, that's just 3 straight come from behind wins from them for them. Like Houston might be putting a big wrench in the Big 12, but still, like I was beyond impressed with BYU today.
I was too, and they've gotten behind against Arizona and Utah, but they still used his feet. That's how they got back in it. They haven't gotten behind and used his arm. He was 6 of 7 on balls, 15 yards or more down the field. Like that's making big time throws. And BYU, I mean, we talk about it all the time, but just such a just such a well-coached team. They look kind of lost to start the game. They're down 20. First of all, it actually almost got worse because it was 17-7, and Beck throws the worst interception you'll see today. Like in the red zone, out in the flat. You can tell it was miscommunication. Yeah, I get the miscommunication. Terrible. But because that could have been 24-7, then you're like, oh, what the heck would it be? And then it gets to 24-10, and you think, what the heck? But here's the thing: 24 first half points for BYU's defense. They gave up 3 in the second half. 3. Like they did something to Rocco Beck that's never been done. He threw 3 picks. He's never done that in his career. Like this BYU. That's blasphemy, by the way. This BYU defense came up clutch. They rushed the passer. They got their hands on the football. Like complimentary football along with the Bear. Like they've got to start get the feeling now too, like Georgia. Like, hey, it's going to happen. Like we're going to figure this crap out no matter what it looks like. We'll get it done.
And I saw a picture or a video of him walking out on the field before the game, barefoot and just kind of in his uniform, or not like in pads, just kind of a shirt. He legit looks like you. Like he looks like your size, your sort of body type, and obviously the 47 is that's the thing too. But it's like, hey, if you are reincarnated into football in 2025, listen, I'd be fine with that.
That's
him.
That's a compliment. Like that is a comp. If I wanted to come back, if I played the quarterback position, I want to play the quarterback position like Bear Bachmeier. Last year, Jackson Dart was my guy. Remember, like that was my spirit animal. But like that sucker, like I'm fine with the Bear. Unbelievable day, man. Fun to watch him. The team needed him to win.
Yes.
The team was winning without him a lot of times, or maybe not despite him, but like with him not having to play exceptional. And now when his team needed him, he was like, I'll break out my guitar like he did for the retirement home people. Break out that guitar and play some music. And dude was sweet.
One thing in that game that happened in another game, in the Bama, South Carolina game, how does your punt returner not tell these guys to get out the freaking way? Like, because I think it was 6. I mean, they do, but like the guy's just blocking, hard. And it's like invariably going to touch him on the foot. I'm like, oh, it's going to hit him, and then it hits him. And BYU gets the ball back and goes with it there. But special teams, little details matter very much so.
They matter for sure. All right, well, another one. How about Texas? My goodness, they've been on the road for 42 days now. They haven't been home. No Taff in the back end, and it looked like it. Mississippi State kind of doing what they wanted to, how they wanted, what they wanted, throwing the ball all over the yard. Looked like they had no shot, and then Texas and Arch slowly dinked their way back into it. Wingo made a sighting, man, and made some big plays in the passing game. They threw it to him short. He took it a long way. I was like, that's nice. That's a Steve Sarkisian offense. They also hit him deep. Arch ends up, first of all, down in the fourth quarter, and they rattle off. Texas rattles off 24 straight to win this football game. Like, Mississippi State, man, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I feel so bad for you guys. You're going to get you one, but, man, Tennessee game comes to mind. Florida game comes to mind. Like, Tennessee game, your offense gives up 14 points. Florida game, you throw a pick when you're kind of in field goal range. Like, just finding ways to lose. It's kind of felt like Auburn, like I felt bad for him, like in that capacity. But Arch making plays. The defense came up with stops. It was not pretty at all whatsoever. But Texas comes back with 24 unanswered, wins in OT, and so they'll be happy to be home. And all right, let's get to some other scores though. Like Memphis and USF. If you missed that was a big one for the Group of 5, right? Like USF had been slapping people around, and it looked like they were going to with Memphis, but Memphis got it together. USF had an opportunity late, a field goal at the buzzer. They missed it. They lose. How about Oregon? Like Oregon comes out. Yeah, you know what you should do to start the game against Wisconsin? You're heavily favored. We saw a couple years ago, remember they did the jump around. They were so excited for it. Well, apparently they just wanted to come out the game and kick an onside. And that worked out well. Kick an onside, get it, go down the field, score a touchdown. That's beautiful. Great start. Aguilar doing Aguilar things, throwing for almost 300 or 400 yards against Kentucky. Louisville, sloppy, not pretty. BC started out early. They kind of did the reverse Miami thing to them, but got back to what they needed to do, and I think they took care of business. And Louisville's now 5-1, very much in the ACC picture, 138-24. Auburn, hallelujah! Like Auburn fans have to be absolutely ecstatic, man. Like for you to I mean, not how it happened, but like the defense steps up in the second half. Jackson Arnold is a guy that we talked about, and he didn't play horrible to start the game. He wasn't atrocious by any stretch of the imagination, but he did he hadn't turned the football over. I think that's what Jackson Arnold's done a really good job of. He turns the football in. Arkansas has an 11-point lead about to go into the half after Jackson Arnold throws a pick six. And then guess what? You finally make the switch. And then Arkansas fans like Adam Rooks and company sending me text messages left and right and just how excited they are for the new era. For now, how is this Auburn offense going to look? And I'll be honest, it wasn't the Auburn offense that took over and dominated by any stretch of the imagination, but the defense, the last 4 possessions, they had 4 turnovers. They got 4 stops against a really, really good offense. So tip of the cap for Auburn, making the quarterback change. Now I'll be interested to see them, but they win 33-24. Cincinnati, defense was really, really good. Still perfect in the Big 12. So BYU, Cincinnati, still perfect in the Big 12. Houston, taking care of business against Arizona State. And then Virginia. What in Sam heck was that? You almost lost. You were 2 inches away from losing. Like UNC goes for 2 to win the game in OT. Another overtime game. Yes, you heard that right. Virginia's been to 3 overtime games now. Like 3 overtime games. They're 3-0. taking care of business, but they won by an inch. The guy gets stopped reaching his arm out, literally gets tackled before the ball gets to the pylon. Absolutely crazy. No team's ever won 4 OT games in a season. So, Virginia, you got something to shoot for, baby. Just keep it rolling. Michigan taking care of business against Michigan State. Little brother taking care of little brother. Washington beats down Illinois. So, eliminator this week for me. Spoiler alert. It's going to be that there. One of Brent's playoff teams. I'm going to throw them in the mix. Nice upset win. Washington was apparently not the favorite. So I like Washington. And then Hawaii. How about this? This is a pretty good one to end on. Hawaii, 31. Colorado State, 19. Hawaii bowl eligible for the first time under Timmy Chang, their legendary quarterback from back in the day. So that is fast and furious. That's a lot. I hope you guys all digested that. We will be here, obviously, throughout this week to talk more about it in depth. We'll give you the numbers starting Monday. We'll have a nice guest or two. Both the coaches we were talking to about having this week, Alex Golish and Kenny Dillingham, both setting that up for next week to talk to them after a big win. And they both lost this week. So I don't know how that will go. We'll see if we still get a good reception with them. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Like always on C-Ball Get Ball, continue to do all that fun stuff. Like, rate, subscribe, and we will see you guys all throughout this week. Thank y'all.